Okay. We are live, Mayor.
Okay, you see me?
You look funny.
Nope. Thanks. I can't see you again.
I cannot see you.
I don't see him either.
Okay, but you can hear me?
We can
Yes.
hear you.
All right.
There's Nick. I can see Nick.
I just muted him by accident. Here we go.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Nick.
I'm
Thank you. Okay,
Okay.
we ready?
I think we're set.
Call the meeting to order. Roll call when you're ready, Liz.
Commissioner Adam Ritchie is on vacation. So Commissioner Donnie Carter.
here.
Commissioner Nina Forsyth.
Here.
Commissioner Kevin Grove.
Here.
And Mayor Robert Flanagan.
Here.
Okay.
Okay. Do you believe somebody wants to add something to the agenda?
I would
here?
like to add something to the agenda.
Okay. Go ahead, Nina.
I'd like to add a discussion of our request for a state testing site in Allegheny County.
Okay. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, moving seconded. All in favor of changing the agenda?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. 4-0. All right. Thank you, Nina.
Sure.
You want to do that first? Do you want to go through what we have written up?
It's up to you.
Nina, go ahead.
So apparently, well, Elizabeth sent around an email saying that she had reached out to Mark Widmeyer to give him a heads up about our request for a testing site. And he had been on a meeting with the governor, and they are not interested in a testing site in Allegheny County, according to the Maryland Health Department. They didn't really give a reason. They sent us the reply that they sent to Noah, but that, he's a student, and the reply really did not apply to us because we are wanting to test our residents, our local residents, not, incoming students. And my concern is that, if there is an outbreak here, we're not going to be privy to the testing at FSU. So we would like to have something in place. And the 3 sites that Mark Widmeyer mentioned in his email, I have heard various things about them. Sometimes they run out of the tests. Sometimes, people are not aware that they need a doctor's approval to get tested. And it seems like sometimes it's needed there, and other people say, no, I didn't need it. So there's confusion about that. And then also there's a cost associated with those sites, which, people might not be able to swing if everybody in their family has to get tested. So I would really like to be out front with this. We're the only county that doesn't have a testing site. And I feel like we're really kind of we're the poor stepchild. We're being neglected. I don't know if it's because they think that we don't have the caseload to warrant it. Or maybe they're running out of tests. I haven't heard if that's the case. If so, then things are worse than I realized. At any rate, I would like to go ahead and request it anyways and get as many people in Allegheny County to sign on as possible. That, Cumberland City Council, other city councils, the county commissioners. What do you guys think about that?
I mean, I'm fine with it. My only question is I guess I'm confused here. We say we don't have a testing site here, but there are places you can get tested. I don't understand why, what's what would be the difference between a state testing site and the hospital?
My understanding is at these state testing sites, you don't have to have a doctor's order and they are no cost, I believe. So
Yeah.
if you feel that you were in contact with someone and you might be asymptomatic, you could still go get a test. Whereas in Allegheny County, you have to be, if you want to get a test in Allegheny County, you either have to be symptomatic or we've had a few employees that have been classified as a first responder that they are able to get tests without being symptomatic to clear their health. But in general, like I couldn't just go get a test today because I wanted to.
Mhm.
So if you're going to be in contact with somebody like in your family, if you're going to be visiting, your elderly mother or something, and you have been in a place where, there have been people from other parts of the state and you're not sure whether you've, been infected and you don't have symptoms, it would be really nice to be able to just go get the test before you visit your elderly mother.
Kevin?
I mean, I guess I'm for, I guess, again, sending another letter or trying to explain that to them, because I think it is important, but again, you're fighting with the state government on this.
It just seems like, we're the donut hole. Garrett County gets attention because of the lake. Washington County gets attention because they're still kind of in the DC, Baltimore orbit, and we're kind of neglected. And so I'd like to fight for us and for our residents.
Is there a testing site in Garrett County?
Yeah, in Oakland, they have a state testing
Oh.
site, which is people could, theoretically, people could go there to get tested, but it's a 40-minute ride.
Sure.
Yeah, so.
Well, I mean, if you all are in agreement, I have no problem signing a letter and sending it directly to our governor. Like I say, with the information we got from Mark was that, but the thing was where the thing was, so to speak. But again, we want to keep everybody's health in check here. So,
Well, and I would think that Cumberland and Allegheny County would have an interest in this because it's not only FSU, but also ACM has a lot of students coming from different areas.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of people traveling through on the trail and
Sure.
Right, yeah.
highway. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of people stopping in the area every day.
All right, folks, we'll roll the ball again. Okay.
Elizabeth, had you reached out yet to Mayor Morris, or was it forestalled?
I hadn't gotten, I will follow up with them.
Okay.
The mayor had been, having phone conversations with them. So I'll let it up to him to reach out to them again to see if they'd be, interested in signing on still.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. All right. Okay, folks, let's move on to our first topic then, topic 3.1, Charter Amendment Resolution 52.
Thanks, Mayor.
Mm-hmm.
This is a charter amendment that affects the real estate tax set-aside agreement provisions. And I feel like we've been talking about this a good bit at several of our meetings recently because you did just approve an agreement at the end of June under the RETSA provisions. In 2017, the RETSA provisions were reenacted in the charter, and at the time they were set forth for a three-year period. And what this would do is that it would extend the provisions to apply for a RETSA agreement for another 7 years. The reason 7 years was picked is in 2017. Allegheny County has a program that mirrors this for residential development, and they did a 10-year period. So by choosing 7 years, it would extend the RETSA provisions to expire at the same time the county provisions expire. It's important to note that no RETSA agreement would come forth unless it met all of the parameters that the city sets forth. And if it was not in the financial best interest of the city at any time, you do not have to grant a RETSA agreement to any potential developer. But this charter amendment just enables you to be able to consider that agreement. New to state law is a public hearing requirement in conjunction with a charter amendment adoption. So previously, a charter amendment is passed just like a resolution. You just have it on your meeting agenda and motion second, call for a vote. It then would be published for a period of 40 days where it could be petitioned to referendum. And then if it is not petitioned to referendum within those 40 days, it would go into effect. However, state law changed that a public hearing is now required. So as we discussed at last work session in July, there has been a public hearing advertised for your council meeting next week. And per that advertisement, the charter amendment is obviously online here, but it is also placed in the lobby here at City Hall for anyone wishing to read it. So is there any questions on any of that I just went through?
Very good. Okay.
Okay, so public hearing and the vote on this resolution, this charter amendment resolution, will be on your council meeting agenda next week.
Okay, very good. Next up, Daystar Builders, our change order. Really, this isn't bad. Change order number 11, and we're in August. That's not bad, Liz.
No, I asked the general contractor how bad we were when it came to thinking of things that needed to be different or changed, and he said, "Not too bad. You're in line with everyone else." So that made me feel better. He said,
So
another
we got
project
9 left then? Is that how that 9 lives
Yeah,
left?
that's what he said. He said we just finished a project that they got up to change order number 22. So that made me feel better.
Oh, wow. I got more than that then. Okay, good.
The good thing about this one is the price is pretty palatable. We had to do a countertop color change. And that the countertop color change, it costs slightly more, but then to accommodate a standing printer, we're removing some of the countertop. So that's what this first one is, and it's a total amount of $37 difference.
Break the bank.
Put that countertop back.
And then there's a layout difference in the new station where the dispatcher is in an office, but the break room is a couple offices away. And occasionally, the dispatcher will need to go get a meal heated up or something like that. And they will have a radio so that they'll be able to receive any calls coming in. But if someone were to walk in off the street, this would provide just a simple doorbell audible alarm that someone could press for service. So that's the wiring to go from one room to the other room, and the cost of the doorbell works out to be $562. And then within the detention, like the detention area, the jail cells and the hallways there, that part of the building is remaining intact, but there are some light fixture upgrades that need to be made that weren't in the original scope of work, and that total amount is $794. So any questions on any of those?
Nope.
Good.
Okay. So that'll be a resolution at next week's meeting as well. Commissioner Grove, I'll let you take this one.
Okay, great. We've put the picture up of Landon. Landon is a 10-year-old whose only wish for his birthday was to have a card signed by every police department in Allegheny County, which he did. Landon has some medical problems. One, and I won't get into his medical problems completely, but he has a rare blood disorder that there's only 400 cases known in the world.
Wow.
The medication for this at this point is costing his parents a fortune because they're having issues with the insurance company and how much will be covered, how much won't be covered. But when we all met Landon, he touched us so much because he's such a neat kid that we decided we'd like to make him an honorary police officer, because when he goes to a lot of doctor's appointments in Morgantown, and he always wants his mother to speed so that he can meet more policemen. And I guess we're trying to save her some money. But we decided it would be such a nice thing to make him an honorary police officer. We have obtained a badge for him, a badge case, an ID card, and we want to invite them to the council meeting, and they've agreed to come to the council meeting next Thursday to make him an honorary Frostburg policeman. And I talked with Liz about this, and I think we could do it by some type of certificate.
Okay.
That's so cool.
Very good. All right,
Okay,
thank you,
so
Kevin.
Yep, that's what we have on that. And I guess I can get with Liz, and or Nick can get with Liz and figure out how we'll word the certificate.
All right. Okay.
We'll figure it out.
No, that's great.
Because of the public hearing, the meeting will be held at City Place. So the garage doors will be open as best we can, and fresh air, and everyone will be socially distant, but everyone attending will need to wear a mask. So that's where we'll be.
Very good. All
Okay.
right. Staff reports. Elaine?
All right, thank you very much. Today, I'm presenting the annual debt report for the city of Frostburg for the fiscal year that ended June 30, 2020. This report's provided in accordance with our debt policy, but also just for the informational purposes of the mayor and the city council, as well as for the benefit of the citizens of Frostburg. The details of the long-term debt of the city are included in note 6 of the audited financial statements for the city, and they are on the city's website. The most recent report that is available is the 2019 audit. The 2020 audit is currently in process. So the annual debt report is designed to provide a highly condensed summary of the outstanding debt of the city, to include a description of the project for which the debt was obtained, the lender, and the city fund that's responsible for repayment of the debt. So for the sewer and water surcharge debt service, that's paid by the surcharge revenue that's billed to utility customers as part of their normal billing. So for fiscal year 2020, 98.7% of the budgeted water surcharge revenue was allocated to debt service. So we're using almost every dollar of that surcharge revenue for debt service. And about 80% of the debt principal that's owed from the water surcharge fund is going to be paid off within 8 years, in May of 2028. Those are the two large loans with SunTrust.
That's great.
So as reflected in this report, you can see that total principal payments on long-term debt for the year that ended June 30, 2020 totaled $791,000. We had payment of interest and fees for the year totaling $184,976. So our total debt service for the year was $975,977, leaving off the change. So the remaining principal balance of all the city's long-term obligations as of June 30 is $7,980,822.23. And that debt has maturities ranging from May of 2023, that's the next debt that we will pay off, and the latest one right now is December of 2051. So if there are any questions regarding the long-term debt of the city of Frostburg, I'd encourage the public to review that note 6 of the audited financial statements on the city website. Or please feel free to reach out to me. You can talk to me in person, send me an email, or call me, and I'd be happy to address the questions that either you as mayor, council, or any of the public might have.
Very good, Elaine. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And just to let you know, I plan on being around for that 2051 debt.
All right.
We better
Let's
pay
see.
more on the principal for that one.
Yeah. It's a good interest rate.
I don't know if you're gonna last.
They're all good interest rates, actually. Some of them are excellent. Meeting technology changes and discussion. Liz?
Yeah, I did just want to go over, I'm gonna have to switch my screen sharing here. I do want to go over the new technology as I sent to you in an email. We are using YouTube now, and the reason that we're using YouTube is we were able to purchase a new add-on or tool, I guess might be the right word, to go along with our meeting portal website. Our meeting portal, the software, the public doesn't really see what it's called, but the software is called iCompass. So if I do say iCompass, I'm referring to our meeting portal. But what it does is allows us to embed video directly in with the meeting. So right now, this meeting is happening right now. So when you go and click on that meeting and you go to video, the video is right there. I'm not gonna feed that back, but the video is right there. Some people may actually get a message that says something to the effect that the city has not, or you know, the administrator has not allowed for this video to be embedded. Go to YouTube, and that's a YouTube nuance that I don't think I'll be able to work around right now for the live stream. Once the meeting has already aired, it will always be embedded there right beside it. But if people do get that message, it's just one click and it'll take you directly to our YouTube page where you can watch the live feed. But then for past meetings, I'll go to council meeting. The video is embedded as well. So you can just go to the meeting, click video, and the video is there. What's really neat about this is we can timestamp it. So you click on these different parts of the meeting and it goes directly to that topic.
Cool.
So really pleased with that. The other thing is once we go back to live meetings, and hopefully we have everything set up for next Thursday, but we're not sure that we'll be able to get it all together. But we'll be able to have a much higher quality video and sound going to YouTube. The sound system will plug directly in, as well will the video. So going forward, and especially once we're set up in the new municipal center, every meeting will be live streamed onto the YouTube channel and linked directly in the meeting portal. So in time, we'll get to the point that every public meeting of the city will have a video associated with it. And when they're in real life again, it'll have the high quality sound and video that I think the members of the public expect We've been kind of making do with phones and Facebook Live for right now. But I'm looking forward to being able to provide this better opportunity to engage from home. There is one question that I do have for you, and that is in regards to the Open Meetings Act and technology. So the Open Meetings Act says that minutes do not need to be kept if you have an audio and video stream, if it is live and archived. So what I would like to suggest, but I need your consensus, is that for meetings such as the mayor and council regular meeting and the planning commission, board of zoning appeals, historic district commission, that very basic meetings are kept, or very basic minutes are maintained for those meetings, where decisions that have a binding effect take place. But those minutes would pretty much just have the agenda item, the motion that was made, and the result of that vote. Any narrative or discussion about items would generally be left out of the minutes because the video would be there. And then staff would go back following the meeting and timestamp the video so that members of the public that are looking to see what discussion did take place are able to go directly to that part of the meeting and watch it. So I just kind of wanted to get your input on that. So so just to kind of get into the nuances of that a little bit more. Work session. Historically, we've captured fairly long narrative of what's taken place so that we can go back in time and kind of see what was discussed and how we ended up, getting to whatever item may have ended up on your agenda. Or if it was something that didn't require, formal action, but just was a point of discussion, we would capture that. Another one that historic district, planning commission, the narratives in those minutes are very long. By law, we don't have to keep those narratives, but we've found over the years that that's helpful to be able to go back and see what the discussion was that took place. So being able to cut all of that narrative out of the meeting minutes and just keep it very simple, and then have that video repository all in one place. I think I don't think it does a disservice to the public because they can still access those agendas and see what actions were taken. But looking for the specific dialogue around any issue, they can actually listen to what was actually said instead of someone's summary of it in the minutes. So.
Yeah, my first reaction is that it makes a lot of sense, especially since the agenda will be time-stamped and people can go directly to the part that they're interested in rather than having to wade through a whole video. So, and they'll be able to even get a more accurate representation of what went on. So it makes sense to me.
Let's take Paperwork Reduction Act.
Yeah, right. Yeah, there you go.
And I know for years being on the council that that it's great to get it over with, but then there's a lot of homework that has to happen after. So I think anything that a one-page description of what was voted on, and et cetera, like Liz just explained, and then again with technology, let it work for us.
Yep, I agree.
All good then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. I'm sure LJ is jumping for joy right now.
LJ, start jumping.
Just say that as someone who writes the minutes for 5 different meetings, I love that this is a provision within the Open Meetings Act that we can use. And I think it's also a really good tool for citizen engagement. If people are really interested, that's a great method for them to engage and find out what happened for themselves. And I really like that aspect of it too.
Can we find a lot more for LJ to do now that she doesn't?
No. LJ will find many things to do. Don't worry.
Yeah.
I do like the fact that we're continuing with the videos even when we go back to live meetings, because people are not necessarily able to come to the live meetings, and it's just a lot easier for people to stay in touch with what's going on and how decisions are made and what the reasoning is and all that. So I do think that, as LJ said, citizen engagement will actually be enhanced this way.
It's been somewhat of a surprise that during the pandemic, citizen engagement is on the rise, and we're seeing this in our videos that we're airing on Facebook now. Never in a million years did I ever expect that we'd have 347 views of a historic district commission meeting, but we have. And probably in the last 10 years, we certainly haven't had 347 guests. So I think that's a really nice surprise.
Your ratings are going up.
How many likes?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much. So the only other item on the agenda is a closed session. So just looking for, Mayor would be looking for a motion to adjourn to a closed session.
Emotion second.
Move that we adjourn the open session of the meeting.
Second.
Moving and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Thank you all.